Well, this is exciting. We sold out of these, obviously, at the golf show. The top 30 public golf courses in Michigan as voted upon by the community at Metro Detroit Golfers. First off, Kyle, we can obviously break it down and talk about, of course, the top 30 public courses that people voted on. But
Of course.
it was great to see the response of this memorabilia piece, so to speak. I know a lot of people, as we're about to re-release it, a lot of people bought it for their office, bought it for the basement, man cave, etc.
It's a great talking point, you know? I mean, who doesn't want to talk about all the courses they've played in the state of Michigan, checking some off the list. Of course, you have you're going to have the best ones in the state, right there at the top and in the top 10. I mean, in my opinion, I think Michigan stacks up against any state as far as some of those courses in the top 10. But the cool thing is, too, it has those, the mid-tier, the mid-level courses.
Some ones that snuck in there.
And then there's some, too, inevitably, and we, learned about this a little bit more at the golf show, there's some that people haven't even heard of that are on the list. And you go, man, I got to check that out this year, too. So it's fun.
And obviously we are, as mentioned, re-releasing this because there's been a ton of people asking to buy it. We keep this very, very affordable. You can actually fill it out as you go and what ones you've played with a Sharpie or whatever. Some people even, I know, wrote their score or signed it like I did at the bottom as if it was a scorecard. But
yeah, I got to fill mine out too.
Definitely, I think I've played 23 of them, but it definitely a great piece for the office or for the man cave, like you said, Kyle. People flock to it and kind of start talking, what ones have you played, whatever. But without further ado, let's obviously just talk through some of them. And again, we polled the people for the top 30 courses. We asked them to look at a few criteria pieces. We asked them to look at course design. We asked them to look at maintenance. We asked them to look at, if you want to judge it by scenery or by overall experience, to try to look at it with a pretty fair light. We weren't going to limit it and say, this. We weren't going to say, hey, this is a 100-point grading scale like Golf Digest and that's great, golf.com, whatever. But wanted people just to truly go vote on what are the best public golf courses in Michigan. To no surprise, number 1 and 2, Arcadia Bluffs and Forest Dunes were 1 and 2 respectively. Not the Loop, but Forest Dunes regular.
Which I think is right. And, one of the things that I love, too, and that's one of the reasons why we wanted to poll the community and get everyone's feedback on this, is because I didn't want this to be we work with so-and-so, so we want to make sure we pump them out there. We work with, we want it to be fully organic. This is just all of your thoughts and opinions, and that's what it should be weighted on. It shouldn't be weighted on anything else. So as far as I'm concerned, Arcadia Bluffs is a fantastic course. Would I say I enjoy the South better, and I think the South is more unique?
So
I certainly think so, but I get why the Bluffs is number 1.
We're splitting hairs here. And is it a hill you're going to die on with some of these courses that Arcadia South ranks number 5 and Arcadia Bluffs is number 1? It's not really a hill that you're going to die on or pick a huge fight over. Now, with these rankings, it does always yield debates. It always yields, something's missing, or why is this course this high, or why is this course this low? But for the most part, Kyle, I did think that when you look at the top 10, and again, for the purpose of not making this video too long, we'll just read them. But Arcadia Bluffs is 1. Number 2, Forest Dunes. Number 3, Greywalls, the Upper Peninsula. I've heard it's fantastic. Never played it.
Heard the same, yep.
4 is Belvedere. I've never played it. You have.
Fantastic. Celebrating their 100th year, by the way.
Congratulations.
So,
yep. So that's
exciting.
4. Arcadia South is 5, meaning, again, Arcadia Bluffs is 1. Arcadia South is 5, 2 of the top 5. I mean, guys, if you're watching this, especially if you're not from Michigan, you just can't beat a better golf experience than to go to Arcadia Bluffs and play both those courses. Number 6, Bay Harbor up in Petoskey, Boyne. 7, the Loop at Forest Dunes. So there you go. Forest Dunes is number 2 and number 7.
And that's another, again, it's very similar to the Arcadia South versus Arcadia Bluffs, conversation as far as Forest Dunes course and Forest Dunes, the Loop. I've played both. I much prefer the Dunes course as an everyday. I could play it over and over again and really enjoy it. The Loop is certainly unique, and it's a very cool design. They change it out, every other day and things like that. But I much prefer the Dunes, and I get some people think the Loop is better, and that's what they prefer. That's totally fine. But good conversation either way, and you're going to have an enjoyable experience at both. Again, splitting hairs.
Yeah, No doubt about it. Also, to round out that top 10, before we break down, we'll kind of break down 10 through 20 or 11 through 20 then. But we also have American Dunes at 8, which is great. Glad to see them there. Probably one of the highest they've been on these types of rankings. Harbor Shores 9, I've never played it. Tullymore, I've never played either at number 10. So there's the top 10 for you.
Harbor Shores, beautiful. There's a couple of holes that get out there on the bay. So again, it just, I love the fact that everyone weighs certain things differently.
Yeah.
The golf purists might, think about design and think about the structure and where a bunker is placed and, the green complexes and things like that. But other people, you know what? They might sit there and go, hey, we were playing it and we were right there on the water when the sun was setting and it was absolutely incredible. And that's something that matters to me.
Yep.
So again, it just depends on, your kind of frame of reference and what really matters to you from a golf perspective.
For sure. And I think just maybe one other takeaway that number 3 is Greywalls in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan that gets talked about a lot, but a lot of people probably haven't played. It's one of 2 courses on here that from the Upper Peninsula that made the map, the other being number 22, which is Sweetgrass. I've only been to the Upper Peninsula twice in my life.
I've actually never been. Never crossed the Mackinac Bridge. Yeah, crazy.
I've only crossed the Mackinac Bridge once. The other time I just flew up there. But, for those of you that know and don't know, to get to Greywalls from Metro Detroit is not exactly a quick drive. It's, 8 hours, 9 hours?
Yeah, at least.
But a lot of great ones in the top 10. And really nothing I don't think that should be some massive debate. Do I think that Bay Harbor is deserving of being at 6? Not really. No, I think that there's other courses at Boyne that are better. Bay Harbor is very,
in my opinion, the Heather's better.
Bay Harbor's
a better
scenic.
golf experience, right?
Bay Harbor's a great golf experience, but it's scenic. I don't love the course. I love the scenery. I love the experience. I don't really love the layout. But again, am I going to be upset or say that it doesn't deserve to be in the top 10? No, it's not really a hill you're going to die on.
Pure golf course, the Heather is, in my opinion, certainly better than Bay Harbor. But again, I get it,
Yep.
You're right there
People
on the
love
coast. It's, people call it the Pebble Beach of the Midwest. I totally understand being on the coast, especially in the links. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful experience.
It is. Moving to 11 through 20, we have the Bear, Jack Nicklaus course up in Traverse at 11. Eagle Eye 12 over in Lansing, and then we have a few of our Metro Detroit courses make the lists. Orchards number 13, which is great. A lot of events there over the years. Stoughton Bray out on the mid to west side of Michigan, in Augusta, Michigan, actually, is 14. Yep. Shepherd's Hollow, right by where I grew up in Clarkston, 15, fantastic. Then we have University of Michigan course 16. The Heather, what you just referenced, up in Boyne, 17. Cedar River, 18. The Cardinal at St. John's in Plymouth, where the Live Championship is about to be, is at 19, followed by Treetops Masterpiece at 20. Treetops, obviously, for many, many years, one of the signature golf resorts in Michigan. But anything stand out in that, whether it's some of the local ones, whether it's Stoughton Bray that we've played?
Yeah, Stoughton Bray, certainly a unique design, link style. I think, obviously it's at Gull Lake, so it's at a resort. I think they could easily get that thing. If they wanted to roll the fairways and roll the greens a little bit more, they could easily make that course a lot more difficult. Good, yeah. Certainly a unique design. Obviously the Bear, I play that, usually once a year, and I think it's a great test of golf. I think it challenges you. I know that they've shaved it down over the years to make it a little bit more forgiving. Again, resorts want to make it a little more playable. They want to make sure that pace of play is in line, but I think the Bear's great. Really do.
Jack Nicklaus courses are always, I'm not a huge fan of Nicklaus courses, and I played a ton of them down in Florida.
They're tough.
And I can tell you exactly what they're going to be every single time. There's going to be a ton of hazards. There's going to be a ton of water. It's going to be a ton of demanding tee shots, well-placed bunkers. Certainly some tough greens. I think that a lot of Nicklaus courses are just a little. There's just a little too much hazard, too much trouble. I really and that's not that that's a bad thing. It's just there doesn't every single par four there doesn't need to be this bunker perfectly in the landing spot, or water all along the right. So now I got to make sure I'm not leaving that ball out to the right. You see it time and time again with a lot of the courses, even on tour as well. Or look at a course like PGA National. Even look at the Bears Club. Look at even when you think of the Bear up north with coming home on some of those holes. I mean, you got water on 18. You have another long par 3 on 17. You have a nice short par 4 on 16, and then 15 another risk reward par 5, typical Nicklaus course again.
Would you say American Dunes is your favorite Nicklaus course? Because American Dunes isn't really like that, as far as all these hazards and the water that creeps up and bunkers that it is a very different style than he's really ever done as far as what we've played.
And it's also. It used to be Grand Haven Golf Club, so there are some
holes.
There's only so much they could do at some point, And
right.
If you watch the Grant Horvat, Justin Thomas video that just came out, Grant was talking to him a little bit about working with Jack to design the course and how much input he did or didn't have. It was his Justin Thomas's first time designing a course, so it was more so, hey, I'm going to learn from Jack and his team. When I'm asked for my input, I'm going to give it, and that's going to be my contribution. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not like he was
keep up and shut up kind of thing,
right.
Yeah.
Which is really fat. When you get into golf course design, that should be a whole topic in itself. I mean, it really is incredible. But
nice walk-off win for JT against Horvat as well.
Yeah,
boy,
and it's -5.
What a great finish on 18.
I love American Dunes because of the non-golf and the military and stuff like that. I think it's really just a great course overall.
It doesn't feel like a Nicklaus. It really doesn't.
It really doesn't start till the fourth hole. I mean,
Right.
the first 3 holes are kind of standalone. I think that the back nine's a lot better than the front, not even close.
Agree.
Now, the Bears Club I obviously love playing.
Just incredible.
It'll beat you up. It'll certainly beat you up. Maybe less so since the renovations and when they redid it 2 years ago, because they always redo it. But it's hard to say that from a golf experience that wouldn't be number one in terms of Nicklaus course, because that is the Nicklaus course. Lost Tree's really good. PGA National's tough. Never played Muirfield. Yeah, I mean, I guess it'd be up there. But again, I just view Nicklaus courses as always a challenge.
I just mean purely from you don't want to always be dealing with water. You don't want to always be dealing with that perfectly placed bunker. I never get that feeling when I play American Dunes, So it is uniquely,
but right, especially from
uniquely
the water.
almost not Nicklaus, if you will. Obviously, 18, 9, sure, the water comes into play, and they sneak some water in, on a few other holes. I think number 2, the par 5, of course, there's water along the right, but yeah, it doesn't feel like the Nicklaus that we normally play.
They're tough, man. And even look at the Cognizant Classic and that course and.
Are we talking about
brutal,
your home state or your or Florida?
And yeah, we got to get back to this. So again, I think a lot of great ones. I still need to play the Cardinal, especially where Liv's going to be at.
Yep, played it last year. I grew up playing St. John's. It was a 27-hole, property, and it was really stuffed into 27 holes were stuffed into not a huge property. So for it to now be 18 championship course, absolutely love that. It's in tremendous shape. Like the green complexes are unique and wild.
Yards.
They'll absolutely tear it up. There's some very, very tight and difficult holes. In my opinion, just growing up playing it, and that's probably my bias, I think 14, 13 of the holes are exactly the same or very, very similar. They just widened it. It's obviously in much better shape. They reseeded and expanded a lot of the greens. As far as what it'll look like, and if people go on property and are going to the tournament for Live, end of August, it's going to show well. It's a beautiful property. So from that standpoint, it's going to look awesome. Playability, certainly it'll beat you up. There's absolutely no doubt about that.
Be very curious to see. And look, it's always exciting when new courses get built, and the fact that they were able to make the top 20 on these votes is impressive in itself. Shepherd's Hollow, I think, is great too at 15. Long, tough, gets a ton of play, but Shepherd's Hollow is really, really good. So I think that's fitting to be at 15.
Agree. And you got the Alistair McKenzie, the University of Michigan Stadium course. Ton of elevation.
Never played.
Incredible green complexes. Super unique. So I think that's fitting as well, and I don't think that gets as much publicity or play just because, Ann Arbor is just kind of out there, kind of like the Lansing area. I love the fact that we have basically the entire state represented.
Yeah.
As far as each region kind of has their own
It
course
is.
that stands out, which
and
is
the
good.
one thing that's bothering me, and that this is a big deal at all, but for some reason, we kind of had to make it fit on the paper, and this is good. We don't need it to be a perfect masterpiece every time. We had to make it fit on the paper, so the UP is obviously a little smaller than it really is, just to make it fit. But the golf balls are smaller in the UP than the state. And
yeah, they are.
We should have made that more proportionate, but nonetheless, you guys. And if you want this, guys. Make sure you're on our email newsletter. We're re-releasing about 100 of them because we've just gotten flooded with not only people asking about them, but quite frankly, a lot of not country clubs, a lot of public courses and golf shops, driving ranges that want to sell these as well. So you might be seeing these around. But 21 through 30, that's where maybe you get some controversy or some ones that snuck in. Pilgrim's Run 21, I see it on a lot of lists. Never played it. Sweetgrass 22, Upper Peninsula. Never played it. Arthur Hills up in Boyne, fantastic. Black Lake, that's one I've talked about for years. I think it's as good as it gets in public golf in Michigan. Not a ton of play. It's a UAW course. They keep it in great shape. Middle of nowhere.
You've talked
up there.
about Black Lake over and over. I mean, we need to just go up there and play it. Because
I've
been hearing about this for years.
We'll play that at Mishaway Pines, which unfortunately didn't get on here, but probably close.
Never heard of Mishaway Pines. Wow, you've never mentioned that.
You should. Well, you're gonna check out that one too.
Yeah, right. No, let's make a swing and let's just go.
Well, yeah, and it'd be very.
Off.
I mean, yeah, it would be. It's not far either.
Right.
It's. I mean, it's Mishaway's right by. Call it 20 right there, where Treetops is, and Black Lake's 24, just northeast. Right. Black Lake's fantastic and really nice amenities too. Nice patio. It's a tough course.
Right. That's what I hear.
It's a typical up north, narrow. You got to be hitting shots. I got some great holes out there. Lot of fun. I mean, it'll beat you up, but it's a lot of fun to play
Sold.
Black Lake.
All right, we're making a trip.
So I think that fact that's on there is great. Fortress 25, Eagle Crest, and Ypsilanti Landing 26. We'll round it out here. The Gales, Lakewood Shores made a lot of lists over the years. 27. I don't have an issue with that from a layout standpoint. I think it's great. Obviously, people can constructively talk about the maintenance, and they've dealt with a lot up there. They've dealt with sun pumps going out the past year, So they've been doing. I think, having talked to them, been doing a good job trying to focus on that, and they're very candid about it. Guys, if you have sun pumps that are going out, and you have a huge issue with machinery that is directly causing the course to not be watered properly and maintained, of course, that sucks to see, and I am excited and hopeful and expect them to be getting that back to a really good shape soon.
I would also say too, I mean, never want to talk about 2020 or mention the word about what happened, but they lost a ton of business from Canada, quite frankly, and it's good to slowly see a lot of that business coming back to them over the last couple of years. So I'm with you. I mean, I used to go to Lakewood all the time. Have been there several times. If you're first out on the Gales. And again, the last couple of years, I get it. Maintenance. You can say whatever you want about maintenance, but
they've dealt with
it's
a lot,
awesome. It's awesome with the dew.
Yeah.
First out. I mean, the sun's rise. It is.
No,
it's a great experience.
And it's gotten top 100. It's still Golf Digest puts it in a lot of rankings for best value courses.
Right.
I'm excited for them to get the drainage and the water and the sun pumps issue resolved because it is fantastic.
The Fortress,
and I hope all those courses up there. I've heard a lot of stuff lately, and this is no joke. I've literally heard it from people in the industry that people from Canada, and I've heard this from multiple golf resorts, that people from Canada have been canceling their golf trips, kind of revolting over this tariff stuff. and I've heard it from multiple resorts that I'm talking about groups of 40 and 50 people that have come to some of these resorts up there for years that are we're not going over because of all this tariff stuff. So I hate to see that for these golf resorts because I don't want them to suffer because people are trying to make some political statement or whatever, meaning the Canadian people are. But
a bunch of people kicking and screaming like children. Nice.
Fine, then they can stay over in Canada then. If they don't want to come over here and play golf in Michigan. But
the Fortress is one that really stands out to me, just in that kind of final 10 of the top 30 list, right there in Frankenmuth. So it's like, we'll do a day trip. The girls will go eat, shop, go, do whatever you do in Frankenmuth, and then
Girls,
the guys will go.
Women aren't allowed to play golf?
They are, but I'm just saying my own personal experience.
Yeah.
They are not golfers in my family. So the guys will go over to the fortress.
Have you ever played
and play.
golf with Audrey?
I've taken her out. Yeah.
Is she pretty good?
She does not play.
Does she know how to really make good, like, swing,
No.
make contact?
I've seen her swing at Top Golf one time, and I don't ever want to see it again.
You got to be a man and you get behind her and teach her how to swing.
Yeah, right.
Give her a lesson.
It's all in the hips.
Real quick, just to round it out, the Mines, which we've played over in Grand Rapids, 28. Interesting one to be on there. A lot of people love it. Some people were critical. Champion Hill, which I've heard is great by Crystal, another really under the radar one, 29s that snuck in there. And then Red Hawk over there again, covering every part of the state over in that northeast section of Lower Michigan.
Tawas, yep.
At 30.
Red Hawk, talk about a course that is not very long. I think it's like 6,400, maybe 65 stretched from the tips. That'll give you everything you want.
Yeah.
It is tight. There are some demanding shots.
A lot of Northern Michigan courses
like
that.
It is not easy.
Well, and overall, guys, appreciate everyone who participated and voted on this, and encourage you to follow our platforms and our email newsletter, and certainly be a part of our GAM, because we're going to be releasing these and giving a lot of these away and doing a lot of cool stuff. We have a lot of basically a waiting list of people that want to get this for their office and the man cave and stuff like that. And it's cool how people fill it out as well. But your main point rings true, that every part of the state is pretty much filled out. It really is. Yep. And it's certainly more crowded up north. But it's nice to see that every part of the state is represented.
Mm-hmm. It's huge.